assembling. Twenty starters on the line for the men's D 5,000 metres, and they are in Station 1 from Mornington Peninsula, Richard Daw. In 3 from Mornington Peninsula, also Will Pratt. In 4 from Keelos and Bernards, Dominic Mackenzie. In 5 from Oldsavarians, Cameron Marshall. In 6 from Melbourne, it is Jack Malhewish. In 7 from Glen Huntley, Mark Rainey. 8 from Mornington Peninsula, it's Michael Thomas. 9 from Mornington Peninsula, also Michael Bishop. In 10, also wearing the orange from Mornington, it's Hudson Rigg. In 11, it is Shyam Abulla. In 12, also from Melbourne, Greg Steele. In 13, from Oldsavarians, John Charles. 14, it is Jude McGravy. In 15, from Oldsavarians, Harry Metzger. 16, from Coburg Harriers, Ben Pearmain. In 17, from Richmond Harriers, Elliot Wilcox. In 18, from Richmond Harriers, Lachlan James. In 19, from Doncaster, Jacob Ganji. And in 20, from Victorian Masters, Shane Draper. 20 starters in the men's D 5,000 metres. So underway now in the first of our events. Top seed time sitting around the 17:30 mark, which is 3.5 minute kilometres. It's about 84 seconds per lap. So as they come around here, if they're hitting 42s, although they're not going to hit 42s at that pace. Let's just see as they come through. They're just starting to stretch it out a little bit now, and it's one of the orange signets from Mornington Peninsula. A couple of moves coming through now. Obviously, a lot of these guys looking for PBs tonight. Conditions not too bad. Cool air, a little bit of breeze. Actually, they're going to be quite close to that 42, so they're just right on it. So right on 17:30 pace as they open up in the first of our hours here this evening. So through the first 400, and they are just under that 17:30 schedule, trying to pick up the leaders as they come through. So Michael Thomas leading them through at the moment. John Charles also up there. Jude McGravy, also Harry Metzger. So a few of the old Zabs uniforms, the traditional red and black. with the orange from the Mornington Peninsula Club leading the way. And nice clutch of the Mornington Peninsula guys just sitting midfield at the moment. You can see the Mentone uniform there. That's Mitchell Fly sitting midfield. A few of the Melbourne Uni boys now starting to work together. So John Charles just going to the outside there. See a lot more of this guy in his triathlon suit. Quite an accomplished triathlete with the Hawthorn Tri Club. And Charles now just starting to drive forward a little bit more and taking a few with him. I think the pace was just dropping there, and John just feeling a little bit antsy. He's decided he's going to take the lead. And he's going to take them right on the 3:29 for the first K. So right on that 17:30 mark, just a tad under. Draper coming through now in the Masters uniform. To the inside of him, Michael Bishop. So Dominic McKenzie from Keelos and Burners. He'll be bringing the field through here, but on 3:50 pace. So it's about 19:10 schedule there for McKenzie at the rear of the field. So 17:30 out front, 19:10 at the rear. That's the spread currently in this men's D5000. Just another reminder to all athletes as they arrive at the venue that you must check in at least 30 minutes prior to the commencement of your event. Check in at the Athlete Check-in Centre, which is in the main grandstand. Also, report in to your start line approximately 15 minutes before the scheduled start. There is no call room, so simply report in. And remember, this is a COVID-safe venue as well, so we would expect that all participants and spectators please observe the COVID rules. So John Charles leading the way. It's a 1-2-3 Old Zavarians at the moment. The time we'll be looking for at the top of the straights, 5:36 is that 17:30 mark. And I think he'll be well ahead of that. So the pace has picked up on this second kilometre. So Charles goes through in 5:29. So they're now cranking down towards the 17-minute mark. So this is good running out front. Certainly taken a few with him and split the pack right up. So lead group there. Well, Charles is out by about 5. Then you've got a pack of 6 just behind. The Doncaster runner there, which is Ganji, just trying to hold on to that lead bunch. But John Charles doing the bulk of the work out front. So Charles, then Metzger, then Marshall, the 1-2-3. And we're just seeing a bit of club work going on here as the Melbourne Uni boys start to join the Old Zavarians there in Metzger and Marshall. McGravy is up there. So John Charles still leading the way. He's on just over the 17-minute schedule as he goes through 2.5. 2.5. Halfway through now, Malhewish and also Buller from Melbourne University in the next positions. McGravy in next. Then it's Marshall. Then Ganji. Metzger. Two Richmond Harriers running together there. That's Wilcox and James. We saw James run really well at Milers Club a couple of weeks ago to take out one of the lower grades there. Michael Thomas in next position. Then it's Mitchell Fly. So Hudson Rigg also through now. So Michael Bishop, Will Pratt, Richard Dorr in that order. Shane Draper next. And then from Coburg Harriers we've got Ben Piermain. And McKenzie just coming alongside our other Melbourne University runner there and Greg Steele. As we see John Charles just rounding the bend now. And he's approaching the all-important 3 kilometre mark. So the time clock just over 10 minutes. So 10:15 is 17:05. I think he's now on sub 17-minute schedule for Charles. So the next two also under 17:30 schedule, but John Charles looking very impressive as he goes now into the 4th kilometre. Malhewish and Bullitt together. Gap then to McGravy. Then Marshall sticking beautifully there just behind him. So Charles rounding the bend once again. A little bit of a gap to the next of the lapped runners that he'll be chasing, but it does give him something to focus on now. He's out by about a good 50 metres over the chasers, and they are both from Melbourne University. Jack Malhewish and also Cheyenne Buller. So nice running there from Marshall. He's just sitting with McGravy. Good strategy. Little gap back there to Doncaster runner and Ganji. He's got Harry Metzger with him. Michael Thomas hasn't been shaken, and we're seeing a good run here from James from Richmond Harriers. He's starting to now bite into that next pack, leaving Wilcox behind him and also Fly from Mentone. So McKenzie and Steele coming through together there. Marshall still sticking very patiently as we look down the far side of the track. And we're approaching the 4 kilometre mark. So 16:34. So, gee, this is going to be touch and go. If he can produce a good last kilometre, we are going to get John Charles in under that 17-minute mark. So we're going to need a bit of crowd support here. He's been running very bravely. He's now out by about, maybe 90 metres, 85 to 90 metres over the chase pack. So there's no signs of Charles dropping pace at all. But it's this last 2.5 laps where the effort level has to go up, but the form's still looking good. As I said, he's an accomplished triathlete. He knows how to go long and hard in these events, and we're seeing good form there from Charles as he comes down to get 2 laps to go. So Maljuish, Buller still together. Maljuish doing the leading. Will Buller help his teammate out here over the last 2 laps? We'll just wait and see. As they look at that 100-metre deficit to John Charles. There's no arguing who's going to win this race. Charles has this one in the bag. Interest in that 2nd and 3rd position. 4th currently is McGravy, but Marshall's still there. 1 lap down is Steele and Mackenzie. Then we have our early leader there, Michael Thomas. James, as I said, is starting to move through this field beautifully. Ganji in next position, then Meska, then Fly. Wilcox in next slot. And then Hudson Rigg from Mornington Peninsula in the next position, followed by Michael Bishop. So Charles, 500 metres out now. Coming down to get the bell. So I reckon he's got this. Look at John Charles. We'll ask all finishers to go into lane 3 as well. So John Charles, first one to get the bell. He's got a 86 last lap required to get him under that mark, and I think he's going to get this quite comfortably. Also looking at impressive times tonight, the 2 Melbourne Uni runners in Maljuish and also Buller. They're next to get the bell, and we will ask them to go into lane 3 as well. But down the back straight the last time, it is John Charles from Oldsavarians coming in with a seed time of 17:50, and he's going to smoke that tonight. This is going to be a sub-17-minute performance. Really winding up and looking good 200 out. Let's see if he's got a kick down here. So Maljuish goes into the back straight first, putting a little bit of a gap on his teammate. Dropping back McGravy and Marshall. No change there. But let's get behind our leader here. Good, impressive running. Took the lead a few laps in when the pace was just starting to drop back a bit. Comes in with a post-17 seed time. And look at that clock. 16, coming towards 16:40 now. He's absolutely smoked this one. A big last kilometre, John Charles. And he will take out the men's D. Beautifully positioned in lane 3 as requested. 16:49.00. He'll be happy with that. That's 1 minute faster than seed time. Looks like Maljuish is going to still take that 2nd position. Striding out nicely as he starts to ease out into lane 3. Buller following him out as well. McGravy just starting to get a little bit of a break on Marshall, but Cameron will not give up. He's going to fight this last 100 metres. Maljuish coming in. 17:13 unofficial and 17:50 there for Buller. Let's see if we can get Cameron Marshall under that 17:30 mark, and I think he'll do it. McGravy, good strong running from him once again, the Melbourne University athlete. 17:25 unofficial and 17:28 there, Cameron Marshall. Good run too, Michael Thomas from from Mornington Peninsula. And another smart run there from Lachlan James, Richmond Harriers. Stockton clock at about 17:38. Mitchell Fly. He'll be next one through. Another sub-18-minute performance here. 17:48.49 then for Ganji. Wilcox, he'll settle with a 17:52 thereabouts. Metzger, brave early. 17:55. He'll be happy with that. A sub-18 for him. Came in with a seed time of 18:49. So Harry Metzger, once again. Oldsavarians, gee, aren't they doing a great job with these IST athletes? So Hudson Rigg, it's a 1-2-3 here for the Mornington Peninsula team, and great to see the club supporting Athletics Victoria track and cross-country events, even though it was a shortened season. But rig through in 18:28. Whoa, and I reckon that was a little bit of a steal there from Richard Dorr over his teammate in Michael Bishop, both in the 18:30s. Ben Piermain, he'll be next. Good to see the Coburg Harriers singlet out there as well. 18:46 unofficial. Will Pratt. Sorry, this is Richard Dorr. It was Pratt in a little bit earlier. Sorry for that call, but Richard Dorr, our number one, coming in just the wrong side of 19 minutes. Shane Draper, he's in next position. Greg Steele, another regular on the track circuit. 19:08 for Greg. That's better than his seed time of 19:40. And one of our regulars also, Dom McKenzie from KSB. Seed time was 20 minutes. He's going to be well under that. 19:20 thereabouts. And that concludes the men's D, 5,000 metres.
And the music, yep.
But now,
So a big welcome to our live stream audience tonight. So a 7-race program here at Lakeside Stadium, the first of our championship events for 2021-22. It is quite an exciting season ahead. We will be doing Zatopek on the 26th of January here at Lakeside Stadium. So the 10,000 metres for men and women. Also the Ondieki 3000 and the De Castella 3000 for the under 20s. Another big event to look forward to this year for those who don't qualify for the Zatopek main events. Athletics Essendon will once again be scheduling 10,000 metre races out at the Aberfeldy track, and that will be on Saturday the 29th of January. So anyone can enter those. You don't have to be an AV member. So they're rebranding it. It's going to be I think it's the Zatopek Track Challenge this year. So dumping the old lower grades label, and this is going to be truly a community event. So anyone who wants to try themselves over the 10,000 metres, been a little bit inspired by the Zatopek on the previous Wednesday night, then make your way out to Aberfeldy on that night. Entries will be via the AV portal, and they should open up within the next week or so for our aspiring 10,000 metre runners. So this evening we will be seeing 4 championship events. We'll have the women's under 20, the men's under 20, then the women's open and the men's opens. One figure of interest will be 14-12 is what we believe might be thereabouts the under 20 championship target time, but that is not confirmed. And we will have some of our very exciting juniors like Archie Noakes, who ran a sensational 8:10 3,000 metres at Milers Club just 2 weeks ago. He will be lining up in the men's open 5,000 metres. He's decided he doesn't want to run the under-20s. He's gone straight with the big boys, and that's in an effort to try and shoot for a qualifier. As I said, these are still not confirmed times, but they are indicative of the type of performance. So if we can get someone like Archie Noakes potentially around that 14-minute mark or better, then he's really staking a claim for the under-20 championships. So 5 minutes away now from the start of our next event, which will be the men's C 5,000 metre. We do have 19 starters in that event. Just a further reminder for athletes arriving at the track that you must check in with the TIC at least 30 minutes before the scheduled time of your event. The TIC is located under the main grandstand. And if you're not staying for the entirety of the night, live stream will be on all the way through this evening. If you want to join us on the live stream, big thank you to our technical directors who have got the live stream up and running this evening. And I believe the results will be coming through into Results Hub as well. We're just waiting for the compilation of the first race. They're nearly there. They're starting to filter onto the screen. So results are going to go up on the board from the first race, the D race, very shortly, and they are going up onto Results Hub as well. And let's introduce the field for the men's. Reedies. 5 from Glen Huntly, Andrew McAvoy. In 6 from Yarra Rangers, James Anderson. In 7 from Geelong Guild, Elias Stott. In Station 8 from Melbourne University, Daniel Sear. In Station 9 from Ivanhoe Harriers, Leo Warsome. Station 10 from Nunawading, Alan Vernal. Station 11 from Melbourne University, Jimmy Goulis. Station 12 from Mornington Peninsula, Oliver Pratt. Station 13 from Mentone, Sammy Murhai. In 14 from Ballerine, Grant Simpson. In Station 15 from Mentone, Sungil Hong. Station 16 from Bendigo University, Russell Jenkins. In 17 from Western Athletics, Alastair McDonald. In 18 from Box Hill, Murray Lovis. And in 19 from Diamond Valley, Brodie McCarthy. 19 starters in the men's C 5,000 metres. So fairly rapid start here to this men's C 5,000 metres. Top seeds are sitting around that 16:30 mark. And that equates to about between 79 and 80 seconds per lap. So if we see them going through just under that 40 seconds, they're dead on target. So Oliver Pratt leading the way. Teddy Banks also up there with Leo Warsome. So nice quick start here. The youngsters are certainly putting the foot down early, trying to establish that pace. And when they go through the 400, we'll get a good fix on the pace they're setting through the early laps here of this 12.5 lap event. So Oliver Pratt sitting about 15:30 pace at the moment. So this is a fairly swift start. That pack of 4 sitting behind looking pretty decent as well. But it's Pratt leading. Looks like it's the St Kevin's runner there in Lynch. Warsome to the outside. Banks hugging the rail. Oh, sorry, that's the Geelong Guild runner there in Stott. He's taken the outside. Warsome sitting on the rails as well. As we see the smooth running style there of Oliver Pratt leading the way. So the chase pack there, Vernal just taking a move there on Saccharides. You can see Lovis there, also Hong in the mix. Murhai, another exciting young character from the Mentone Club. Very brave running at Milers Club a couple of weeks ago in the 3,000 metres. Announced that he's on the scene as we go through the 800 now in 2:31. So we're into about the 1540s now. That definitely that second pack sitting in the 1540s. And we're seeing the young Mornington Peninsula runner out front just having that lead being gobbled up. And certainly the second of our Mornington runners there in Teddy Banks just being asked the question, but he has beautifully just latched himself back on to Warsome, which is where he needs to be. But it's Stott who's doing the chase now. Lynch quite happy to let Stott do the work for the moment. Vernal now in no man's land, so Alan's just got to carve it out by himself. Hong now looking good. Also McDonald making a move down the outside there to latch on one out, one back on Hong. That's not a bad spot to be. The Diamond Valley runner also looking good there in McCarthy. But out front, it's a group of 4.5 potentially. A little gap forming there. But as we saw earlier, Banks just doing what he needs to do. But I think Vernal is really making those moves. He's made the choice to actually have a real red-hot go here. So through the 1200. So pace has gone off a bit and they're sitting in the 1550s through to 16-minute mark. But for all of those, that will be a breakthrough run. So it is good pacing with Stott now out front. Good to see them prepared to actually take a bit of the lead. Lynch running very smart. Pratt now in third. Warsome fourth. Then Banks, and Vernal is nearly there. Anderson from Yarra Rangers. He's the next in the chase pack. McDonald. Hong, McCarthy, Saccharides, Murhai, Lovis, and gotta love him, Grant Simpson, just tacking onto that pack, doing an amazing job as one of our best Masters athletes in Victoria. And talking of Masters, Russell Jenkins in the Bendigo University singlet, bringing up the rear, coming through to get 9 laps to go. So racing 3 out front now. Stott just maintaining around that 16-minute schedule. Lynch content to sit in second. Early leader Pratt just sitting in third. Nice move there by Banks. Vernal is on. So 2 groups of 3. Gap then to Anderson, then McDonald. Hong sitting to the outside of Lovis. Murhai getting a little bit impatient, going to the outer flank there of Sakaridis. McCarthy striding beautifully and Simpson doing what he needs to do. Jimmy Goulis in next position. So approaching 2 kilometres now. $6.25 at the 2K, 16.02 pace. So slightly off the sub 16, but if these guys can hold this next couple of laps nice and steady and then kick down on the last K, we could see some sub 16s. It'd be lovely to get a few of these youngsters through with a 15 as the first digit. Stott, Lynch, Pratt, no change. Warsome now driving through on the rails. Banks going to the outside. Vernal running strongly just to the outer of Warsome as they go through. Nice running by Anderson to bridge that gap, and I wouldn't be surprised if James Anderson doesn't join that chase pack. McDonald now in a little bit of no man's land. Daniel Sear just going through in the Melbourne University uniform. Also Andrew McAvoy and Oliver Burns from Williamstown. As we go through the 2400 in 7:43. So a little bit of break out front. It is still Stott from Geelong Guild. Lynch, St Kevin's. Gap of 15 metres to Pratt. Vernal, as we said, moved nicely to get onto that pack and now moves away from them as we come down to get 6 to go. Warsome, then Banks, Anderson, McDonald, Hong, Lovis, Murhai, Sakaridis, McCarthy, Simpson. Gap then to Goulis. And as we're seeing, Elias Stott starting to stamp his authority on this race. He's looked good, looked very relaxed and comfortable out front. And now just starting to ease away from Matthew Lynch. And we see Vernal starting to wind it up. A little bit more experienced than a lot of the guys in this race. Alan Vernal been out for a little while, for a few years, not as prevalent in these fields, but back again. The Vernal name, very famous at Athletics Nunawading. So Stott now out by 5 to 7 metres over Lynch as Russell Jenkins comes through to get 6 to go. So 3 kilometres. They are slipping away from that 16-minute target. So around the 16:10 pace at the moment for our leader. Lynch just back a little bit from that. Vernal looking good now in third position ahead of Banks. Sorry, Pratt, then Banks. Awesome G there, lining up to make the moves behind that. Lovis has done a good move now to bridge that gap. Sakaridis, Simpson playing it smart, just sitting midfield there in that chase group. Sear just passing Goulis, his teammate. Burns in next position, then McAvoy. A lot of interest now in that chasing pack from Lovis. They're going for around 16:40 pace. Sakaridis, Simpson has said, has played the waiting game there and is just sitting nicely behind the smaller figure in the Glenn Huntley uniform. Hong and Murhai, the teammates working together. And as you see, they've started to really come through on some of those early leaders. But looking out, and Alan Vernal is the one to watch here. He was sitting back in about 7 for 8 position. He now finds himself in second. And it's the two green uniforms out front. And I think Vernal might have that lead. Stott's done a great job out front for Geelong Guild. But the Nunawading runner, just look at that stride pattern down the back straight. Nice and easy, nice and comfortable. And I think we're going to see a change in lead as they go through now. So Vernal takes the lead. I think they're on about 16:15 pace. So still a fair way to go, but it's Vernal leading. Stott, Lynch hanging in. Gap of 35 metres to Lovis. And then Pratt, Sakaridis, Simpson, Murhai and Hong. So 3 to go. Lovis the one to potentially put the glasses on now because he is starting to wind this up. He's got about maybe 25 to 30 metres to catch on that third position there in Lynch. Pratt not far behind him, but I'd say fading. And is Lovis the one who's winding up. Vernal out by 15. Another 15 Stott to Lynch. And then we're seeing that gap close to Lovis. Was 30. Was 25, it's going to be 20 very, very soon. 14:02, 4 kilometres. 16:15 pace, just over for Alan Vernal leading the way at the moment. So Stott looking around that 16:25 mark. About 16:30 for Lynch if they hold, and Lovis is the one who's bearing down on them. Two to go for Vernal. Stott, 30 metres back. 15 then to Lynch. 5 metres back to Lovis. Sakaridis, Pratt, Simpson in that order. The Mentone boys, Hong to the outside, Murhai to the inside. McDonald, McCarthy. Then Banks, Warsome. Sear in next position, and then Goulis. The next of the moves is just coming. Lovis into third. $500 out, Alan Vernal. Stott second. Lovis coming alongside him, 500 out. So the wind coming up, looks like it's a home straight breeze. Alan Vernal head down, 1 to go, gets the bell. Lovis in second now. So Stott sticking with him. Lynch not far back, and G. Simpson's run a good smart race once again. Could be eyeing off a few of those youngsters up ahead, thinking I might want to get close to the podium in this race. Murhai's played the patient game with his teammate Hong, and now he decides he's going to take off, and he's got Sakaridis in front of him. Stott just kicking away from Lovis again. Has Murray done a little bit too much to bridge that gap? It could be the way, and Elias Stott just starting to put the afterburners on, but out front, Alan Vernal leading the way. Probably won't be caught from there. Rounding by the water jump the last time. So we want, once again, all competitors to finish in lane 3. As Alan Vernal leads the way. Yeah, Lovis looks like he's done a lot of work there because you've just had Lynch come past him as well. But Alan Vernal, he'll take this one out. Let's get him under the 16:20 mark. He'll be comfortably there, I think. So nice, smart running. Stayed patient early. And Alan Vernal from Nunawading, 16:16. Lynch, big kick home as well. He's going to stop the clock at about 16:21. 16:23 thereabouts for Stott. Nice run by Lovis. Just ran out of gas in the last lap, but good running Murray Lovis, 16:29. Gee, 16:30 thereabouts for Simpson. Nice run from Murhai. I'll be happy with that 35. Sakaridis and Hong. Gee, maybe the fast finishing Hong over Sakaridis. McCarthy next position. Then it was Pratt, McDonald, Sear, Banks, Warsome coming through. 1 lap to go, Russell Jenkins. So Jimmy Goulis, Melbourne University, he'll be in just a shade over the 17-minute mark. So 17:09 thereabouts. Andrew McAvoy checks the watch as he comes down. So McAvoy next, was challenged by Burns but couldn't quite make it. They were both low 17:20s. Results. Let's get behind Russell Jenkins, our master vet from Bendigo University. Impressive time here for his age group. He's going to be well under the 18:30 mark, and Russell Jenkins will round out the Seafield 18:22 thereabouts. So as we can see, results now up on the board for the previous event. 16:16.56, Alan Vernal, Nunawading. 16:22.05, Lynch from St Kitts. And then Stott, 16:23.79 from Geelong Guild, taking that 3rd position. Casting our eyes across the other side of the track, and we are now seeing the girls lining up for the event number 3, the Women's Under 25,000 metre Championship. 13 starters. And they are in Station 1 from Mornington Peninsula, Jasmine Sidebottom. Station 2 from Essendon Athletics, it is Bianca Puglisi. In 3 from Old Zavarians, Annabelle Coleman. Station 4 from Williamstown, Monique Goldsworthy. Station 5 from Athletics Southwest, Emily Morden. Station 6 from Ballarat YCW, Georgina Mees. Station 7 from Diamond Valley, Fiki Vanderkamp. In 8 from Mentone, Emily Hart. Station 9 from Sandringham, Sophie Coughlin. Station 10 from St Stephen's at Saskia Lloyd. In 11 from Williamstown, Alexandra Schultz. In 12 from Yarra Rangers, Georgia Laven. And in 13 from Williamstown, Abby Goldsworthy. 13 starters, the women's final of the under 25,000 metres. Bit of an apology there to Emily Morden. I didn't see the name in there because the seed time was a bit slow, but Emily Morden was a bit of a find and a sensation at the National Championships earlier this year in Sydney. So definitely one to watch out for too as the young lady from Athletics Southwest. So the pace is on early. Puglisi and Morden first to jump. Laven to the outside of them. Goldsworthy on the inside. Top seed time is 17:40. Bianca Puglisi ran a brilliant race in the B3000 at Milers Club to win that convincingly. Morden, well respected, fairly new on the scene, but gee, what a national championships she had in Sydney earlier this year. Georgia Laven going nicely. Mees just sitting beautifully. Coughlin just to the back of her. Coleman going to the outside now in the Old Zavarians uniform. So 16:40 pace out front, right on the 82nd mark through 400. So as I said, this pace is on, and I think there might be a little bit of collateral damage later in the race as a result. But a good bunch of 5 out front. Puglisi, Morden, Laven in there, Monique Goldsworthy. Also Georgina Mees deciding she's going to go with that lead pack. Gap then to Coughlin and Coleman. I think Abby Goldsworthy onto the inside there. Schultz also in the mix. Bit of a drop back then to Jasmine's side bottom. Lloyd, then Van der Kamp, and then Hart. So 11 to go. Puglisi like clockwork at the moment. Another 80 just rolling out there. Second lap down. Laven now being asked the question early on in this race. Mees sitting at the back in 4th position. Monique Goldsworthy in 3rd. Morden to the outside and pushing Puglisi along beautifully. So this is a nice pace. As we know, this is about the pace that Puglisi did her 3,000 metres in. Has she got the extra 5 laps? We'll find out tonight. I think this young lady certainly has lots of talent, and we're going to see another big performance here. Can she drag a few more through to big times here at Lakeside? 3:21, so just going to the wrong side of the 16:40, but it's still impressive opening kilometres. 3:21 first K. So the pace maintaining, the gaps are forming. So the lead two now starting to really put it out there and challenge the chasers. Goldsworthy in third, Mees fourth, gap then to Laven. Coghlan probably running one of the smarter races here, I think. So Sophie Coghlan just deciding to stay out of the action early. But this is a 12.5 lapper. A lot can happen. Out front, Puglisi. Morden. Not changing position. Probably for good reason. She doesn't need to. The pace is hot enough. So Laven probably about to be joined by Coghlan. I think that could be Schultz in next position. Then Goldsworthy, Coleman. Then side bottom, Lloyd, Vanderkamp and Hart. So sitting on a high 1640 pace at the moment. No change in the lead. But the gap second to third and then fourth to fifth starting to grow. So we're seeing that gap really starting to extend, second to third. Now out to 35 to 40 metres as we approach the 2 kilometre mark. So 6:45 on the clock, 16:52 pace. So the pace just easing out front, but the pace easing more as we see them go through 6:54 in those next positions, which is about 17:15 pace. So still sharp running in that chase pack. And as mentioned, I think Coghlan could be the one to look out for as she's starting to move through in that next position. So Puglisi still leads. Nothing has changed out front. And why should it for Morden? She's got a good pacemaker out front who's prepared to cut the pace as we saw at Milers Club. So Puglisi, Morden, 7 out. Coghlan now in third position. So they're out by 50. Coghlan by herself. Monique Goldsworthy. Georgina Mees. Abby Goldsworthy. I think Schultz in next position. Then Coleman. Laven. Then Lloyd. Vanderkamp just coming alongside the young lady from Mornington, which is Jasmine Sidebottom. So 2,400 metres in. So Puglisi just going to ease past Hart now. Morden with a Coghlan looking pretty strong there, starting to move away from the next pack there. And it looks like it might be Abby Goldsworthy just starting to edge up to her sister. Georgina Mees just sitting in the pocket. Puglisi has done all the work all the way through. Morden, for the first time, not on the shoulder, but still sitting wide in the lane, doing the extra distance. So 3 kilometres, 10:15. Let's get a fix on Coghlan as she comes through as well. So about the 10:22 mark for Coghlan. So 17:05 pace out front. So as they're rounding the bend here, they'll be coming down to get 4 laps to go. And I think this is where we might see whether Puglisi wants to inflict some pain on Morden. And will Coghlan continue to eat into that gap as she has been? So Puglisi leads it still 4 out. Morden hanging in there. Coghlan, I think, has picked up another 5 to 10 metres on that lap. She's the one to watch here as we get into this final 2 kilometres of the women's under 25,000 metre championship of Victoria. Gap then to the 2 Goldsworthy girls with Mies wedged in between them, the Ballarat YCW runner. They're all running impressive times as well. We're going to see some nice breakthroughs here for all these young ladies over the 5,000 metres. Schultz in next position, then Laven, Lloyd, Vanderkamp, then Coleman. Side bottom next, and Hart. Gee, the race is on. Morden is pushing Puglisi beautifully at the moment. This is setting up a great race. They're sitting on around 17:10 schedule right now. Can Coghlan bridge that gap? She'll need to do some work in the next few laps to try and get contact, unless she's got a massive kick to come over the top. And I wouldn't discount that either. Wouldn't be surprised if Morden makes a move relatively soon as well. She's looking relatively comfortable again on the shoulder, and Coghlan's got it down to about 7 metres. We can see the medalists here. The order, we don't know. This is going to be a very, very enthralling last 3 laps of this women's under 20. I haven't seen a race like this in the women's under 20s for a long, long time. Gone are the days of only 2 or 3 competitors. We've got 13, and that quality out front of that top 1, 2, 3 is excellent. Mies now takes the jump on the 2 Goldsworthys. Coghlan's done a lot of work. Is that going to pay off? Or are the legs just going to tire in this last kilometre as we approach the 4 kilometre mark? So Mies through 3 to go. Abby Goldsworthy. Monique Goldsworthy was up there early and working hard. Schultz, Laven. It's a group of 3. Coghlan's on. 13:44 at the 4 kilometre mark. So we're sitting still around that 17:10. Is there going to be a kick down? Can we get them close to the 17-minute mark? It'll be hard to do the big kick down to go sub 17, but gee, this is impressive running. For 10 laps, Puglisi has led, but it's Sophie Coghlan from Sandringham who has taken the lead 2 laps out. Coghlan, Puglisi's gone with her. Morden being asked the question and just struggling a little bit. Puglisi showing a lot of ticker there. She's just latched onto Sophie Coghlan, 2 out. A race in 2 down the back straight. Coghlan leads. Puglisi. Gap now 40 metres to Morden. 150 back to Mees and Goldsworthy. Abbey, that is. 600 out. What a race we're being shown tonight. Bianca Puglisi, how brave. We saw her run so well a few weeks ago at Box Hill. She's replicating that tonight, but she has a body in front of her this evening, and that body is Sophie Coghlan. Coghlan did so much work in the mid-stage to come back onto this lead pack. A little poke around the shoulder to see that Puglisi's still there. We're going to hear the sound of the bell, and I think Coghlan is going to put the foot down. So Puglisi just has to stay calm here. Coghlan starting to take the pace up. Puglisi patient. Looks like Morden's in a lot of trouble here. The chasers are about 80 metres back from her. But Coghlan has broken Puglisi, I think. I'm not sure if Bianca has much more in the tank here after doing so much of the leading. Great running though, Sophie Coghlan. What a strategic race that was. Sat back early when they were on 16:40 pace and decided that wasn't for me. We're going to see a finish time around the 17-minute mark, probably just a bit over. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing the battle here for third place between Goldsworthy and Mees. I think Morden is in a lot of trouble on this last lap, and it's Abby Goldsworthy, the one who makes the first move. Round the top bend, though, let's get behind Sophie Coghlan. We'll see her easing out into lane 3 to take the victory, take the championship. What a run from the young girl from Sandringham, one of the smartest under 25Ks I've seen in a long time. But Bianca Puglisi, hats off to her. This girl has courage. But it's going to be our new champion, the new under 20 champion of Victoria, Sophie Coghlan. Time check, I reckon she's going to be close to the 17. Let's get her in there. It's going to be oh so close. Gone too early on the clock. I don't know what it was. I think it was right on 17. Bianca Puglisi, how good are you? What another tough race, but Sophie Coghlan takes the crown. Puglisi, a well-deserved silver. And what's happening, and it looks like it is Mees who now moves into the bronze medal position. Just shows what can happen in a 5,000 metre. And it is the young girl from Ballarat YCW. Abby Goldsworthy made the first move. Mees was patient. She rounds the bend into the last 100 metres. And it will be the Bernie Blood girl, Georgina Mees, going to take the bronze medal, a surprise bronze medal when you saw what was happening in those first 4 kilometres. So Georgina Mees will be on the podium. She'll take third position. Time check, it's going to be around the 17:50 mark. Abby Goldsworthy coming through, but oh, how brave is Emily Morden. This girl is one to watch. We saw her so brilliant at Sydney. Tested over the 5K tonight when putting the times down, but you don't lose friends doing that. So Abby Goldsworthy through. Let's get behind Emily Morden. This is brave, brave running. And it looks like Monique Goldsworthy will just take the next position, and I hope we'll have first aid out to Emily fairly soon. Georgia Laven, sorry. Yes, Georgia Laven, next one in. Schultz, Lloyd, Vanderkamp in that order. 18:25 thereabouts, or 24 for Laven. Lloyd through. So Annabelle Coleman from Old Severians moving out to lane 3. She is finishing here. And we'll have Emily Hart will be getting the bell lap as she comes through. But wow, that was one hell of a women's 5,000 metre under 20 race. As I said, a few years ago we were lucky to get 2 or 3 entrants in this race. 13 tonight. The quality excellent. Good signs for the Victorian and Australian distance running scene. As we see Jasmine Sidebottom actually finishing now. She'll be out into lane 2. So Emily Hart coming through to finish. Got a seed time of 22 minutes. So young Miss Hart from Mentone is going to be well under that as we see the time ticking over to about 20:30 now. So let's get behind the final finisher here in the women's under 20 5,000 metre championship. Great running, Emily Hart, to hopefully snag a big PB plus a smile and a wave to the crowd. That is class. So the girls will be proceeding over to the presentations. Our sport delivery leader and also soon to be acting CEO of Athletics Victoria, Ross Cunningham, putting out the medals. Wow, what do you say about that race? I sort of could eye Coughlin off early, noting that she wasn't going to get involved in that harder pace and just played the waiting game. And beautiful strategy, great tactics. She probably had a bit of a race plan. The girls ahead were going much faster than that race plan, and Sophie Coughlin just played the waiting game. Great example of how to run a 5,000 metres. Not to say that the girls who went out did the wrong thing. It's good to chase time as well, because a lot of these girls aren't that experienced over 5K. They don't necessarily know what they're in for. But geez, some great running there. And Puglisi, this girl is definitely one to watch. She's brave and she can carve out pace. Just didn't have it on tonight to get ahead of Coughlin, but a well-deserved silver. And that race for third. Emily Morden, this girl has got so much heart, and we're just seeing she's been attended to on trackside at the moment. Unfortunately, she just melted in the last kilometre, and not a good look. But obviously, she just gave it everything. And Georgina Mees, I reckon a few laps out, would not have even been dreaming of getting 4th or 5th, and suddenly she is going to have that bronze medal. Another well-coached young lady from Ballarat, Bernie Blood's in charge up there with that squad, and they're doing some great work. Really regular at all of the Athletics Victoria events and Milers Club, and it's great to see some bit of bling heading back up the Western Highway towards Ballarat tonight with Georgina. So results up for the women's under 25,000 metre championship of Victoria. 17:00:58. Sophie Coughlin from Sandringham, our gold medalist in silver. 17:04:06. Puglisi from Essendon, and from Ballarat YCW, Georgina Mees, 17:48:27. And we will have them proceed over to the presentation area shortly. Could we have Bianca Puglisi back to the finish line, please, for presentations? Bianca Puglisi, please report back to the finish line. We will be heading off and doing our presentation shortly. So next event on the track will be the final of the men's under 25,000 metre championship of Victoria, scheduled to start at 8:10 p.m. If we could have our young ladies make their way to the podium, and we'll do the presentations for the women's championship shortly. So we'll turn our attention now to the infield for the victory ceremony and medal presentation for the women's under 20 5,000 metre championship. In third place, our bronze medalist with a time of 17:48.27, representing Ballarat YCW, Georgina Mees. Our silver medalist in second position with a time of 17:04.06, representing Athletics Essendon, Bianca Puglisi. And our gold medalist, new Victorian champion in a time of 17:00.58, representing Sandringham, Sophie Coughlin. So congratulations to Georgina, Bianca and Sophie, our medalists this evening in the women's under 20 5,000 metre championship of Victoria. Once again, let's cast our eyes to the far side of the track. We have the field assembling for the final of the men's 5,000 metre championship under 20. We have 22 starters. Station 1 from Sandringham, William Garbelotto. In Station 2 from Old Scotch, Tom Bowers. In 3 from Knox, Matthew Venner. In 4 from Glen Huntly, Nicholas Chambers. In 5 from Mentone, Sam Albiston. 6 from Eureka, Ben Ludbrook. 7 from Mornington, Zachary Dyer. In 8 from Mentone, Hudson Bucci. In 9 from Frankston, Bevan Doze. In 10 from Western Athletics, Brandon Muscat. Station 11 from Athletics Southwest, Joshua Bale. In 12 from Knox, Matthew Patton. Station 13 from Old Zavarians, Joshua Augustinus. In 14 from Glen Huntly, Aidan Velton. Station 15 from Mentone, Xavier Johnson. In 16 from Knox, Nicholas Martin. Station 17 from Mentone, Sam Bunnage. Station 18 from St Kevin's, Tom Forster. Station 19 from Glen Huntly, Charlie Rogers. Also from Glen Huntly in Station 20, Logan Janetsky. Station 21 from Wendouree, Jacob Cheeseman. And in 22 from Old Scotch, Sebastian Brasington. 22 starters in the final of the men's under 25,000 metre championship of Victoria. So split start line here for this 22-man field in the under 20 5,000 metres. Ones to watch would be the likes of Bowers, Janetsky, Garbalotto, also up there. Quality field once again, 22 starters, and some of our under 20s opting also to run the open event this evening as well. 14-12, as you said, is an indicative world under 20 standard, but it's not a final standard. So Garbalotto, Janetsky, we've seen these two go head to head many times. Augustinus to the outside there. Be interesting to see what Bowers does. I think he'll sit early. As we saw in the previous race, so much can happen. So Garbalotto, Janetsky, Bunnage, Bowers in that order. 72, so they're on 15-minute pace. So nothing too quick, nothing too slow. Top seeds are around the 14:45 mark. And Bowers being one of those. They know how to break 15. But a few stepping up from the 3K up to the 5K now. And Garbalotto sporting an interesting haircut this evening, young Will. Good to see the long locks of Janetsky also coming back out after a bit of a shaved head over the previous season. And it is Janetsky who starts to take up the running. No real change. Bowers just edging alongside Bunnage now. He wants to be in contact. Charlie Rogers sitting in the next position. Bit of a breakthrough run for Rogers at Milers Club over 3K. Now sporting the Glenn Huntley uniform. So nice open running here. So Janetsky and Garbalotto setting them up nicely. 2:26. So pace not super fast. That's all we'll say. It's just nice and comfortable. Could end up being a bit more of a kick-down type race. As we saw in that earlier women's under 25K, they certainly went for time as well. So Xavier Johnson starting to edge his way forward. You can see Forster sitting in on the rails there. Joshua Bale just sitting in mid-pack as well, the young man from Athletics Southwest, which is one of our newer clubs from the Warrnambool area. So Bowers, just watching what's going on. Rogers the same, not wanting to get too much involved in the action out front. There's Garbalotto and also Janetsky, who slips into third now, who've been doing reasonably good pacemaking and just setting that tempo. So the field happy for Garbalotto to just keep working out front. 1,400 metres into this journey. Officially. So Bowers takes the lead as they approach 1,600 metres. We'll get a time check here. And that'll give us a good indication of the pace going through. So about 4:55, which is about 15:22, 15:23 pace at the moment. So as I said, not super duper quick out front. This will turn in, I believe, to a kick down race and a true championship event. Brandon Muscat having his dip out front as well, just coming alongside Garbalotto. So good to see Brandon getting some fairly good form into his legs. Nice 840 odd at Milers Club in the 3K for Brandon, big PB for him. We also saw Bowers looking good that night as well. So pace, I reckon, has dropped right back now. So Bowers doing the leading, but the pace is off. That's why there is such a big pack still together. You can see Augustinus just sitting mid-pack there in the old Zavarian uniform. Venner just coming through that mid-pack as well. And it is Muscat who's now taken up the lead because that pace had dropped. So 6:10 at the 2 kilometre mark. So it's 3:05 pace for the kilometre. So do your maths. So Brandon Muscat out by a few metres now. And I'd say our main contenders for those championship medals are playing the Tour de France peloton job here. Looking at Brandon thinking, yep, we might have a bit of time on him over 3, so we'll just let him go. Janetsky, the first one to start to launch out of the peloton. Garbalotto next to him. Forster to the outside. Ludbrook just getting in a little bit of trouble there. Bevan Doe's also in the mix. So the kick down occurs. Garbalotto, Janetsky, Rogers, Bowers. I think Johnson might be up there as well. Fading light here at Lakeside now. There's that beautiful skyscape of Melbourne in the background. And Logan Janetsky deciding he's going to lift that pace as they go through the halfway mark. So a discernible lift in pace here. And it's the sparring partners out front, Janetsky and Garbalotto. Rogers having a good season so far. Johnson up there. Bunnage still there. Bevan Doe striding beautifully. Ludbrook just trying to make his way through and latch on as that pace starts to go heavy out front. Bale, the next one to make the move and try and get onto the lead bunch as they start to trim down. As we see, the pace has gone in and we're seeing the splits really start to form. Lead bunch of about 8. So an interesting injection of pace mid-race here. I think this has really shaken the race up and we are down now essentially to a bunch of 6. Doe's trying to stay in. Ludbrook just gapping a little bit. Then a larger gap to Bale, also Muscat. Nicholas Martin just joining that bunch of 3 there with Bale and Muscat, and out front it is still Garbalotto leading the way. So with this injection of pace, they're getting back around that 15-minute scheduled time, and I think they'll probably go under because they will sustain this for the next few laps. There's no doubt they're capable of doing it. So Garbalotto and Janetsky 1-2. Bowers, Johnson, Rogers, Bunnage, Doze, Ludbrook, Muscat, Bale, and then Martin. Matthew Patton leads the next group. Augustinus in there as well. Albiston in that pack. But Janetsky now takes his turn as we see another break. Lead group of 4. So Johnson now tacking on just behind Bowers. Janetsky. Garbalotto, Bowers, Johnson. Gap of 5. Then Rogers. Bunnage next position. Bowes hanging on nicely. So coming to 3 out now. Janetsky just pokes his head around to see who's there, and he'll just see 3 bodies with him at the moment. Johnson looking quite comfortable just off the shoulder of Bowers as they start to approach passing traffic. Gap now extending out to Rogers and Bunnage. So Cheeseman just easing out to the outer lanes, just allowing the boys to run through unimpeded as this pace really starts to settle in. So 11:59 at the 4 kilometre mark. They're right on the 3 minute kilometres. This is going to be a sub 15, but the time does not matter. Garbalotto just sliding back slightly into the field as Bowers slips into that second position. 3 medals on offer, 4 runners in the mix. Janetsky, Bowers, Garbalotto, Johnson, 2 out, 4 runners. Great championship racing, just like we saw in the women's under-20s. The men's under-20 are turning it on for us. Janetsky surges again. Bowers looks comfortable. Garbalotto working. Also Johnson. So slip past Brasington. 600 out, no change. Garbalotto starts to put it in. Janetsky looks around again. Just get out there and race, Logan. Just go for it. 1 lap out. This is on. Johnson looking quite relaxed on the outer lane there and starting to ease up towards Garbalotto. Bowers on the inside and boxed. Janetsky got clear space in front. They're starting to push it down now. Bowers on the inside surging through. He's got the opening there. Good move there from Bowers. Garbalotto responds though. 200 out. Bowers striding it out beautifully. Garbalotto going with him. Johnson in third. Janetsky fourth. It's not over yet. Bowers rounds the bend first. Garbalotto coming at him again. They ease out to lane 3. Garbalotto not done with. Neither is Johnson. Janetsky, I think, is done, but I think Tom Bowers has got this. Great running from the young man from Old Scotch. Who cares about time, because this is a championship and Tom Bowers is our new under-20. Garbalotto, great running for second. Johnson will take that podium position. Logan Janetsky, once again brave, but will miss out on the podium as we see Rogers easing out. He'll take the next position in 5th. Big finish there from Bunnage as well in 6th position. Doze will take 7th. But Tom Bowers just sat in, took his time out front as well, didn't let them do all the work. But gee, that mid-race pickup, that was good to watch as we see Benny Ludbrook and Nick Martin coming through next. Brandon Muscat, very brave mid-stage. When the pace dropped, he took it on. Venner in next position. It could be Hall next. Augustinus. So Forster, the next one through. So Velton next. Sorry, apologies there. That was Bucci next, then Velton, then Bale next. Then from Mornington, that's Dyer. Chambers is through. Hudson Bucci through now. So Braslington will be next through in the old Scotch colours. And Jacob Cheeseman from Wendouree will be the final finisher here in the men's under 25,000 metre championship. So let's get behind Jacob Cheeseman from Wendouree, all the way down from Ballarat. So nice run there. Sub 17 minutes, and that rounds out our field in the under 25,000 metre championship for men. If we could have the first three place getters to keep around the finish line, please, and we will proceed through to presentations, hopefully before we start the men's B 5,000 metres.
Lotto coming at him again, mate.
So another great championship race there. Times coming in about 14:40 for the win, but gee, that group of four towards the end, how good was that? And honestly, I wasn't going to pick a winner. One lap out, it was just going to matter who was going to be the strongest, and in the end, obviously it was Tom Bowers. Garbelotto as usual, and Janetzi. You've got to love these guys because they just don't leave anything out there and always set up a great race. I've been watching them for the last couple of seasons, and gee, it's been impressive to see this clutch of young guys coming through who are brave and really put a race in and make the others work. Because what's happening then, if the others work, they're getting the times and the standards are just going up and up and up. So even though finish time today not fantastic, it was a good championship race, and with four in it with one lap out, that's exactly what we want to see. So the victory ceremony and the medal presentation for the men's under 20 5,000 metre championship of Victoria. In third place in a time of 14:42.53, representing the Mentone Athletic Club, our bronze medalist is Xavier Johnson. Our silver medalist in a time of 14:41.48, representing Sandringham, William Garbelotto. And our gold medalist and new Victorian champion in a time of 14:40.40, representing Old Scotch, Tom Bowers. So congratulations Xavier, Will and Tom, our medalists in the men's under 20 5,000 metre championship of Victoria. Before we commence the next race, we do require 3 more lap scorers at the finish line. We cannot start the men's B until we have 3 more lap scorers. So if anyone wants to jump the fence and help out, and then we will try to stay close to program. We still require 2 more lap scorers before the B race can get underway. So if you have someone in this race, please report into Tony Williams at the finish line. We require 2 more lap scorers, and it looks like we've got 2 just heading out there now. So just a reminder to all competitors in the next races coming up too that we do require lap scorers. So make sure you have one on hand if required. Times are now up for the previous race. So all times now up for the men's under 25,000 metre championship. Next event on the track will be the men's B 5,000 metres. We have 21 starters. In station 1 from Old Zavarians, Ben Hassler. In 2 from Frankston, Damien Clark. In 3 from Mornington Peninsula, it is Liam Hemingway. In Station 4 from Doncaster, John Portwood. Station 5 from Western Athletics, Callum Drake. Station 6 from Old Scotch, Jonathan Giacumis. In 7 from Athletics Essendon, it is Joel Fitzgerald. In 8 from Glen Huntley, Chris Winter. Station 9 from Melbourne Uni, Isaac Holberton. Station 10 from Box Hill, Scott Benedict. Station 11 from Melbourne University, Patrick Jaffe. In 12 from Mornington Peninsula, Ben Griffiths. Station 13 from Frankston, Ned Verway. Station 14 from Melbourne Uni, it is Show Waller. Station 15 from Yarra Rangers, Max Saville Bentley. In 16 from Keilor St Bernard's, Patrick Matthews. In 17 from Melbourne University, Bryn Lonergan. In 18 from Williamstown, Andrew Carey. In Station 19 from Yarra Rangers, Luke Hunter. Station 20 from Melbourne University, Jonathan Squire. And in 21 from Collingwood Harriers, Tim Bryant. 21 starters in the men's B 5,000 metres. So with the 21-person field, it's once again the split start. Top seeds sitting around the 15-minute mark. So I'll be expecting around those 72-second laps and 36 as they come through this first 200 as they start to settle down. So just a couple of guys just eyeballing each other, waiting to see who's going to launch out. And once again, it's the team in orange deciding to do a bit of work out front. So Hemingway and also I think that's Griffiths out front at the moment. Little gap to Verway. And then that looks like the Williamstown uniform. That would be Andrew Carey. So yeah, right on. Just on the 15-minute schedule at the moment. There are two leaders. Verway just starting to make a little bit of a move to join the party out front. But 71 high I got as they went through the 400. So nice pace, establishing a good rhythm. As you can see, it's starting to stretch that pack out, which is what we want to see. So they're not hanging around at all at the moment. So Portwood also up there. Patrick Jaffe, Melbourne Uni. Also, he's sitting in that 5th position. Then Carey. Then I think it might be Show Waller in next place. But Ben Griffiths from Mornington Peninsula leading the way as he approaches 800 metres. So still sitting just under that 15-minute mark, the 72-second lap. So I think that might be his schedule and that's his plan. John Portwood just moving through past the taller figure there in Hemingway. And Portwood, the Doncaster athlete, now edging his way towards our leader. Verway's still sitting there. I think he's running quite smoothly, just sitting to schedule as well. Jaffe in next position, then Carey. Jonathan Squire, the next one there, the next of the Melbourne Uni runners. Tim Bryant, then Paddy Matthews. Isaac Holberton, and then from Yarra Rangers, we've got Luke Hunter. Gap then to Callum Drake. But out front, Johnny Portwood takes the lead. So we're seeing Portwood maintaining around that 15-minute mark. So obviously quite keen to be lapping around the 72s. And the gaps are now forming. So Griffith probably back about 20. Another 15 back to Hemingway. Verway sitting nicely there with Jaffe. And also Squire. Tim Bryant getting a little bit impatient there, going to the outside of Paddy Matthews. But gee, the lead for Portwood is really starting to extend. So still early days here. We're into that second kilometre as we approach 1,600 metres. And he's well under the 15 mark now. So Portwood is pushing out there and pushing that pace forward. So 8 to go for Portwood. Griffiths in next position. Hemingway, Jaffe, then Squires, Verway, Bryant, Matthews, Carey, Hunter, then Holberton, Drake, Giacomis in next. I think Clark might be in that next position with that big bunch. As we hit the 2 kilometre mark, 5:56. So as we see, Portwood just cranking along a quicker second kilometre by a few seconds. So about 6:04 potentially there for Griffiths as he goes through. So still have a swirly breeze here tonight at Lakeside. Air temperature quite cool, quite good for 5k running. We see Johnny Portwood really driving with those arms. Much more compact style there from Griffiths, still moving nicely. Jaffe slips into that next position ahead of Hemingway. Paddy Matthews looking good too, just easing up onto that next bunch. So Fitzgerald, also Hasler, Showwaller. They're in that next pack. As Portwood's now out to about a 60 metre break. So through the halfway mark now, John Portwood from Doncaster. Griffiths just approaching that mark. Jaffe looking good and starting to make up some of that difference. Matthews and Squire together. Bryant just easing up alongside Hemingway now. Callum Drake in next position. Isaac Holberton coming through. 6 to go. Then Carey, Verway, Hunter. But down the back straight, it is John Portwood leading the way. He'll be coming through and approaching the 3 kilometre mark on this next lap through the start or the finish line. So Portwood approaches 3 kilometres. He's going to be right near that 9-minute mark, maybe a shade under as he goes through 8:58. So that's 9 minutes is that 15-minute target time. So Griffiths, also Jaffe, Matthews. And it's Hunter, Drake, Bryant, Hemingway, Saville, Holberton, then Carey, Saville Bentley, also Verway in next position. Giacomis, then Hassler. Matthews is staging a good race here, now in third, just behind Jaffe. So is Drake. Those two have both moved through from that chase pack earlier. Griffiths next, then Bryant, Squire, then Hemingway, Holberton, Carey, Saville Bentley. Verway just hanging in there, 4 to go. Showwaller just going through from Melbourne University. Then we have Joel Fitzgerald from Athletics Essendon. So Bryn Lonergan through now, 4 to go. As we see our leader, Johnny Portwood, coming down. Gap hasn't changed a lot, but he's still got a substantial break on the chasers as they come down to get 3 laps to go. So 1.2 to go. Jaffe's been impressive, but it is Matthews and also Drake, the ones that have made the big moves mid-race to get in contention here for those top places in the men's B 5,000 metres. So 12.05 at the 4 kilometre mark, so just slipping away. It's got to be a 2:54 closing kilometre from Portwood if he wants to break the 15. The chasers are through at about 12.18 thereabouts. So into the final kilometre, our leader coming down the home straight to receive 2 laps to go. Callum Drake. Gee, this could open up, and it is those two that stayed patient early. It's Drake and also Matthews. Of the two, Drake looking the better as they come down to get 2 to go. So 800 out for Drake. Matthews sort of going with him. Jaffe's done a lot of work. I'm not sure if he's got the legs. Griffiths has been there all night, still looking quite comfortable. Tim Bryant in next position, but gee, the gaps are really forming here in this pack. Has Portwood got enough under his belt here as Drake enters into that back straight as well, with 35 metres between him and the race leader? Maybe 40. So 600 out for Portwood. The Doncaster athlete made a really good move in the earlier laps to break away from the pack and sit on that 15-minute schedule. Probably slipping away from that at the moment, but still in the race lead with Callum Drake really winding up the cadence. You see those legs just ticking over so much quicker now. And Drake is really winding this up. He's got it down to about 35 metres now. As we've got Portwood coming through to get the belt, working hard. He always looks like he's working hard, so don't be deceived here. Johnny Portwood is strong, never looks comfortable, but he's tough. 1 to go. So once again, we ask all finishers to finish in lane 3. So everyone out to lane 3 for the finish. So Drake, Jaffe, Griffiths back in. Looks like Paddy Matthews still better suited over those 1500s and 3Ks. Just hasn't quite got the legs for the 5. Bryant winding up nicely. Squire in next position. Holberton next, then Carey, Hemingway, Looking down the strip, it looks like it is Savile Bentley. Also Hassler coming through, then Verway. And Showwaller in next position. But Johnny Portwood, he'll have this in the bag. I can't see Callum bridging that gap now. And Johnny looking strong as he rounds the bend the last time. So Portwood's got this one in the bag. Good strong running, nice front running performance here. As we see John just easing out into lane 3. So our leader, let's get behind him. John Portwood, just going to miss the 15-minute mark, but gee, what brave running in these conditions here tonight. So John Portwood will take the win in the B race, 15.05 unofficial. Callum Drake, he'll come through to take the second position, but gee, Griffiths, strong run there, out early, and he'll take third in about 15.14. He'll be happy with that. That will be right on his PB. Matthews through, then Bryant. Isaac Holberton next through at about 15.25. Then Jonathan Squire from Melbourne Uni. Looks like he'll get a PB as well, around the 15.30 mark. Andrew Carey, he's next in, and that is a PB as well, I believe. Hemingway comes in with the 15.15, not quite there today. Showwaller, also Hassler. Lots of crowd support there, and 2 PBs, I believe. Savile Bentley next through, the man from Yarra Rangers. Then Verway. Luke Hunter stops the clock at 16.05. Then we have Fitzgerald. Giacomis. Then Benedict will be next. The Frankston runner. That's Damien Clark. And Chris Winter, a legend from the Glen Huntly Athletic Club. So 16.25 and then 26 there. And rounding out our field tonight, it is Bryn Lonergan from Melbourne University. That is the conclusion of our men's B 5,000 metres. Taken out by John Portwood from the Doncaster Athletic Club. Next event will be our women's Open Championship over 5,000 metres, scheduled to start at 8:50, and that was about 4 minutes ago. Hopefully they'll be on the line fairly soon. It's fairly hard from up here to judge what the conditions are out there, but it looks like there's a little bit of breeze still going. Good running there from John Portwood. He certainly felt that the pace was just slipping, and he decided to get back onto that 15-minute schedule. Surprising run from Griffiths. He looked like he was dead and buried there for a while, but he came through in the latter stages once again, so that was a nice performance. Don't know much about him, haven't seen much of him before, but that certainly was a nice-looking run. So the women's 5,000 coming up. I think there's probably one that we really will be looking at here, and that's Rebecca Green. So potentially, I wouldn't say a class above the field, but certainly going on seed times, she's one to really watch out for. Eleanor Benson's another one I'd be looking at. Charlotte Wilson, not sure on Charlotte's form. She's a multiple Victorian champion over the steeple. And quite an accomplished road runner as well, and I haven't seen much of it this season. It certainly wasn't at Milers Club. The next drops, we're looking at the likes of Condagonis, potentially Skeltsonis, but as I said, one to watch. I really like watching Eleanor Benson running from Melbourne University. She has a lot of ticker, that one, but Rebecca Green from Melbourne Uni, I think, will be right up there. So next event on the track will be the final of the women's 5,000 metres, Victorian Championship. Victorian record, Sonia O'Sullivan, 14.41.02, set in 2002. The country record, 15.27.41, set by Georgie Clark in 2008. World Championship qualifier 15.10.00, also the Commonwealth Games qualifier. National record 14.43.80, set by Jessica Hull from New South Wales. So we now move to the Open Women's 5,000 metre Championship of Victoria. 16 starters in this event, and they are in Station 1, representing the Box Hill Athletic Club, Victoria Skeltsonis. Station 2 from Melbourne University, Rebecca Green. Station 3 from Yarra Rangers, Olivia Twining. In 4 from Melbourne University, Alexandra Bucky Smith. Station 5 from Ballarat YCW, Eliza Lapierre. In 6 from Glen Huntly, Dana Deckers. In 7 from Old Zavarians, Georgia Powning. Station 8 from Geelong Guild, Alicia Burt. Station 9 from Richmond Harriers, Jenna Chiffy Gray. In 10 from Bendigo University, Nicolette Lesberg. Station 11 from Box Hill Athletic Club, it's Stephanie Condigonis. Station 12 from the Albury Athletics Club, Brooke Williams. Station 13 from Athletics Essendon, Charlotte Wilson. Station 14 from Wendouree, Carla Treweek. Station 15 from Melbourne University, Eleanor Benson. And in 16 from St Stephen's Harriers, Brigitte Humphrey. 16 starters in the final of the Women's Open 5,000 metre Championship. So underway now in this championship event. I'd anticipate Rebecca Green will launch out to the front and we will see who follows. So Green coming in with a seed time which gives her favouritism. The Peter Fortune coached athlete from Melbourne University. Charlotte Wilson, haven't seen much of her this season. And Ali Benson, they're the top three at the moment as they start to settle. Looks like Brooke Williams also might be up there in the teal colours of Albury. So Green, Wilson, Benson, Williams in that order. Williams now slipping into third position. Gap then to the chase bunch. Skeltsonis there. Humphrey also, Condigonis. Humphrey to the outside of her. Lesberg further outside once again. But out the front it is potentially our two race favourites, that is Green and Wilson. So sub 1640 pace for Green out front at the moment. Williams is making that brave move to try and get close to Wilson as we see Green just stretching out slightly in the early stages of this race. So I'd say Wilson's deciding she's going to sit back, not go with that early pace. We've seen Green impressive over the 800 metres in recent times. She's shaping up to the 10-kilometre event Saturday afternoon at the MCG. So Williams looking strong in that third position. Benson, Condigonis, Skelsonis, the two training partners. Then Lesberg, Humphrey, Treweek, Chiffy Gray, Lepere, Deckers. Then Bucky Smith, Twining. Then Burt and Pounding. So impressive pace out the front from Green. She's on around 16-minute pace. Williams has now taken second position, getting a little impatient and moving past Wilson. They're sitting on around the 16:30 mark, so it is good pacing out front at the moment. So Green approaching 1,200 metres now. So she's on sub 16 pace at the moment, Green. Williams and Wilson still together. They're on about that 16:30 schedule. Gap then, Benson leading the next pack. Looks like Condigonis and Skelsonis, Lesberg. And I think that might be Treweek just tacking onto the back of that group of five. But we're seeing Rebecca Green just moving smoothly and very efficiently. As we said, cool conditions here tonight at Lakeside. So 9 out for Green. Wilson's content to sit there. Benson is actually keeping that group moving nicely, and there could be a little bit of damage being inflicted as we see a break now between Skelsonis and Lesberg. So Benson moving very, very efficiently. 9 out for her. Condigonis happy to sit in that group of three with Skelsonis just along for the ride with a training partner. Humphrey, Lepere. Then Chiffy Gray. Also Bucky Smith. Gap then to Twining. Another gap then to Burt and then to Pounding. So the lead of about 80 metres now. Rebecca Green, Melbourne University. Not much change, although Williams is moving nicely and putting the pressure on Wilson. So the Albury athlete back in the big smoke down here again and racing well, Brooke Williams. Ali Benson is leading that next chase group through, and there's not much of a gap. Well, sorry, the gap is not widening between third position and fourth position. So coming down to get the 2 kilometre mark now, Rebecca Green, Melbourne University leads. So 2K 6:22 thereabouts. So we're still sitting around that 16-minute mark for Green. And I think Williams is starting to stretch Wilson now. So we'll get a split on them as they come through the 2 as well. So going through in 6:40. So that's right on the 16:40 mark. So Benson is the big mover here as we look back in the field. She's now put the gap on Condigonis and Skeltsonis and is bearing down on Wilson and also Williams. But out front it is still our leader as she approaches the halfway mark. So good performance out front. She's right on that 16-minute schedule as she hits the 2,500 metres. Rebecca Green looking strong. Ali Benson now with Charlotte Wilson. Brooke Williams about 5 metres ahead. So yet again we have a championship race going on here. The leader quite clear, but the battle for the minor medals is starting to heat up with Ali Benson from Melbourne University looking to potentially make this a 1-2 for the white train. Williams still looking good, so don't disregard Brooke Williams. She does have a turn of speed as well and never right off Charlotte Wilson. The gap back then to Condigonis, then Skeltsonis. Decker's leading the next little bunch, which includes Lesberg and also Treweek, 2 of our country athletes. So our leader coming down to hit the 3 kilometre mark. So we'll watch for this time split through the 7.5 laps. So Green through 9:36. So just on that 16 minutes. As we see Ali Benson now joining Brooke Williams. So Benson played it smart early. Sat back, has moved through. We've seen a few of those. We saw Sophie Coughlin do it beautifully in the women's under-20s. We're seeing it again here from Ali Benson. So we're hitting about 10:02, so they're in the 16:40s. Ooh, Benson just being stretched. I think Williams just put the foot down as she hit that. Wilson now in no woman's land as she looks back and she'll see that Condigonis is about nearly 100 metres adrift. We're seeing Deckers now starting to come through, taking Lesberg and also Treweek with her. They might be eyeing off the 2 Box Hill runners ahead. That Glen Huntly Box Hill rivalry still thick and strong in this women's event. Humphrey, Chiffy Gray, Lepere, Bucky Smith. As we see Green now just coming past Olivia Twining. So 4 out. Now Williams has put a bit of space on Benson as well. So Benson did some work to get through and up to that bunch, but has she paid for the price for that mid-stage? But it's still Green leading beautifully here. Williams looking very, very strong. So 4 out for Williams. She's now put the gap to about 15 metres over Benson. Another 35 back to Wilson. Condigonis in next position. Deckers now bridging or gapping the two Box Hill girls. Skaltsonis in next slot. Lesberg, Treweek. I think Humphrey will be next on the track. With Chiffy Gray. New on the scene in Athletics Victoria competition, and she's looking very strong over the 3,000 and 5,000 metre distances. Lapierre, Bucky Smith, as we see our leader coming down. So she'll have 3 laps to go. So 1,200 out now for Rebecca Green. The lead about 115 metres over Brooke Williams. Another 20 metres back to Ali Benson. And probably another 40 to 45 back to Charlotte Wilson. So the 1, 2, 3 looking quite set now as we go into the final phase of this event and approach that last kilometre. So 12:52, that is our 4 kilometre split. That puts her at about the 16:07 time. So let's see if Green can kick it in and get close to that 16 or just maintain that pace. As we said, the gold medal is in the bag here. The gap to Williams is about 150. Williams is now really putting the gap down on Benson, but Wilson not making much of an impression now as Benson goes through to collect that last kilometre as well. Green comes through, 2 to go. So Williams, I'd say she's got that silver medal sitting in her pocket, 2 out. Benson. Got a gap, maybe 45 over Wilson. Never right off Charlotte, but gee, that is a big gap over 2 laps to try and reel back in. Dana Deckers, nice solid run from her, running into 5th position now. Condigonis, Lesberg taking Treweek with her and about to approach Condigonis. So nice smart running Nikki Lesberg in the Bendigo Uni kit. Treweek, impressive run from her as well, not letting Lesberg go as they come down to get 2 to go. And our race leader, Rebecca Green from Melbourne University, approaching the bell. So has she got a 68-second lap in her to finish off? I'm not sure if the legs will get there, but still impressive running from Rebecca Green. It's going to be a shade over the 16 minutes, but it's a good run here tonight in these conditions. And Brooke Williams still looking oh so strong. Holding up beautifully under these conditions as well. So Brooke Williams from Albury coming down to get 1 to go. Benson too far back now to try and bridge that gap. So 1 to go for Williams. Benson coming through. This will be her first time, I'd say, on a individual podium in Athletics Victoria. So Ali Benson, 1 out. Charlotte Wilson in that 4th position. Dana Deckers 5th. As down the back, we can now see Rebecca Green coming through. Time check 15:43. So nice solo run here from Green. Went out early, had Wilson for a little while, but then has just really been a class of her own out front. She eases out to lane 3. Let's get behind our event winner, new Victorian champion. We saw her running so well at Cruden Farm to announce that she's here. And now Rebecca Green takes out the Victorian Open Women's 5,000 metre championship. Time went a bit early there, so it's about a 16:10. Looking down, we'll see Williams coming through the traffic now. She'll ease out to lane 3. So Brooke Williams is back. After giving birth, she's back and she's running solidly. So it's going to be well under the 16:40 mark. So Brooks held that form beautifully in that latter stages of the race. Not to be outdone by Ali Benson, though. That's another great run from her. But 16:37 unofficial. Williams for second. Benson, what a run from her. Looking great over the 15, the 3K, and now the 5K in 16:44. And let's get behind Charlotte Wilson. Bit of an icon of Victorian athletics and also athletics Essendon, multiple Victorian champion. Great coach, great person and good representative for athletics Essendon. Just the wrong side of 17, but another good run. Dana Decker's smart running once again from Miss Decker's wearing the Glenn Huntley uniform. So Dana will come through and she'll take a very well-deserved 5th position. And she'll be in at around 17:16. Treweek, very good performance from Carla Treweek from Wendouree. That's a big one from her. She'll be next in. She'll be sub 17:30. She'll be happy with that. Condagonis right on the 17:30 with Lesberg. Brigitte Humphrey, next one in from St Stephen's, 17:35. Victoria Skaltsonis. Big finish here from Eliza Lapierre. She'll get the Ballarat YCW girls and guys going nicely, but she'll get under 18. Skaltsonis stops the clock, 17:49. Nice form there, Eliza Lapierre, 17:53. Olivia Twining, a big kick home as well, 17:58. Bucky Smith will just miss the 18, but good running. Chiffy Gray next from Richmond Harriers. So Georgia Pounding, possibly one lap to go. And also Alicia Burt from Geelong Guild. So let's continue to support our runners out there on the track here for this Open 5,000 metre championship. So Rebecca Green, was a class of her own, but Brooke Williams is making the comeback now, representing the Albury Club. She does live up Northern Victoria now, so coming back from childbirth, and as we're seeing so often with our senior females, having a child is no impediment to their athletic career at all. So Brooke looking very strong tonight, so he seems to be in very good shape, and it'll be exciting to see what she does leading through. Maybe she's got her eyes on Zatopek. Rebecca, where does she go from here too? We're not too sure. I don't know her that well, so I've got to get to know this young lady. She will be running the Melbourne Marathon 10K on Saturday afternoon up against the likes of Rose Davies, so that will be a good test for her. Ali Benson, I've had my eyes on this one for a couple of seasons now, and she is just going from strength to strength, and I think that will be her first individual medal in a Victorian Open Championship. I'm ready to stand corrected on that one, but I'm not sure if Ali has made the podium before, and it will be just reward for some really good training and a great club person at the Melbourne University Club as well. So big finish here, Georgia Pounding. Look at those arms pumping. So great to see the old Zavarian back out here in this open 5,000 metres. And Georgia will stop the clock at 20:12. And Alicia Burt, Geelong Guild, rounding out this open women's 5,000 metres here this evening. So let's get behind her. Yet again, a regular at our Athletics Victoria events, and good performance there. Gee, well under the 21-minute mark. So Alicia finishing the field here, and we'll now look forward to our men's open 5,000 metre championship to commence shortly. So looking through this men's field, we've got the likes of Thorpe, who's won this before. Also Jared Clifford. This will be very interesting to see Jared racing tonight. Other names to watch out for. I think a lot of attention will now be on Archie Noakes. So he is a junior, was qualified for the under-20s tonight, but opted to run open because he's chasing times. Obviously the World Under-20 Championships is on his target. As we don't know exactly qualification standard, but 14-12 thereabouts has been done in the past. So watch out for him. A couple of interesting names floating through here are guys who are going to be lining up again in the half marathon next Sunday at the Melbourne Marathon Festival. Sorry, the Nike Melbourne Marathon Festival. New sponsor on board, and they're doing an absolutely amazing job. So sorry, just interrupted by our admin delegate, but we're looking at Archie Reid, also Seth O'Donnell lining up in that half marathon, also Michael Kernahan in the half. I think Goldsmith might be doing a pacing job on Sunday with Sarah Klein in the marathon. So some interesting doubles. We did move this event away from the Thursday to the Tuesday in order for some people to double up over the weekend. So top picks here. Well, it's, honestly, it's a good field. Ed Mark's another one to watch out for. Harry Norman's really broken through at Milers Clubs a couple of weeks ago as well. But Jared Clifford, hard to go past him. Thorpe, well, let's just see if he can take this event once again, and be very interested to see the progression of the likes of Seth O'Donnell, and a lot of eyes on Archie Noakes. So good to see the girls making their way across. We will be doing the presentation of the women's open 5,000 metres before announcing the field in the men's championship. Victory ceremony and medal presentation for the Victorian Women's Open 5,000 metre Championship. Our bronze medalist in third position in a time of 16:44.66, representing Melbourne University, Eleanor Benson. Our silver medalist in second position with a time of 16:36.95, representing Albury Athletics, Brooke Williams. And our new Victorian champion in a winning time of 16:10.41, representing Melbourne University, Rebecca Green. So congratulations to Eleanor, Brooke and Rebecca, our medalists in the Victorian Open Women's 5,000 metre Championship. Next event on the track will be the final of the men's Open 5,000 metre Championship. I'll do the intro. Let's introduce our field. 18 men lining up for this Open Victorian Championship, and they are in Station 1, wearing Athletics Victoria, bib number 1, representing Diamond Valley, Jared Clifford. Station 2 from St Stephen's Harriers, Harry Smithers. Station 3 from Old Scotch, Benjamin Baisha. Station 4 from Box Hill, Samuel Rattray. In 5 from Athletics Essendon, Archie Noakes. Station 6 from St Stephen's Harriers, Samuel Quirk. Also from St Stephen's in Station 7, Thomas Thorpe. In 8 from Mentone, Seth O'Donnell. In Station 9 from Glen Huntly, Edward Marks. Station 10 from Western Athletics, Liam Cashin. In 11 from Yarra Rangers, James Laven. In 12 from Mentone, Michael Kernahan. Station 13 from Yarra Rangers, Harry Norman. Station 14 from Mornington Peninsula, it's Callum Goldsmith. In 15 from South Bendigo, Archie Reid. In 16 from Western Afs, it is Nathan Pearce. Station 17 from Keilor St Bernard's, Jacob Bell. And rounding out the 18-man field from Frankston, Jesse Dunsmore. 18 starters, men's Open Victorian 5,000 metre championship. So a little bit of jostling for position as they start to settle down. You can see Clifford is on the rails where he does like to run. We'll watch out for where Thorpe positions. Noakes gone to the front. So this is the excitement machine from Athletics Essendon. 8:10 as a 16-year-old. If he was born a few weeks later, he would have absolutely smashed a Victorian record, but being a December-born young man, he missed that one. Pearce in second. Noakes just pushing them forward. He wants time here. He's in this race for a time, and he's hoping that these guys are going to help him out. But at the moment, he's the one who's doing the work. We saw him launch 800 metres out in that Miles Club 3000. He set that field on fire. He ran 8:10. Janetsky also ran a brilliant race. They were just ran over the top of by Waring and also Patterson towards the end. But the 16 and 17-year-olds certainly were the ones who set that race alight. And Noakes once again proving that he is not unafraid of taking clean air out front and pushing the pace. So Pearce sitting second. I think Marks is up there. You can see Seth O'Donnell sporting the mullet once again. Cashin on the rails. Callum Goldsmith just the back of Clifford. Thorpe just sitting in there. Harry Norman, be interesting to see what he does this evening. Great run by him also at Milers. Laven, his teammate, not far back. He had another big one as well a few weeks ago at Box Hill. And just a reminder, entries for next Milers Club close midday next Monday, not midnight. So it's starting to stretch now. We would hope that someone is going to help take pace out there with Noakes as they're coming around to approach the 1K mark. So Noakes leads, Pearce, Marks. Let's get the split on this one. They're going through 2:51. So they're between 14:10 and 14:15 at the moment. Remember 14:12 is a bit of a golden figure. Not a set in stone as a qualifier, but it's indicative of what might get young Archie Noakes into a championship. Let's hope there's a bit of help out there to get him through. Seeing O'Donnell and Cashin sort of sitting midfield. Cashin certainly doesn't mind taking the lead, but got burnt at Box Hill when no one went with him. And probably a little bit reticent now to be doing deals if they're not going to help. So Mark's sitting to the outside still. Goldsmith looking good. Thorpe just happy to stay about 8th back there, but on the rails. And Pearce moving nicely, but no one wanting to take the pace. Archie Noakes the one driving forward. Reed just starting to make a little bit move on the side there of Norman. Baisha just to the back of them, and Kernahan there as well with Laven. I think Dunsmore up there as well. Then a gap, I think, looks like that might be Quirk leading the next bunch. So on 14.20 pace, Noakes leading. Is anyone going to help him and take the pace out front? I know it's a championship race, but he's setting up such a good, or relatively good pace here, but they are starting to drift. Thorpe moving up. Reed in there. Norman sitting beautifully mid-pack. Jared Clifford, potentially race favourite with Tommy Thorpe. They're sitting 5th and 6th. Make that 6th and 7th. Here we go, finally. So Marks takes the ascendancy. That's going to help. O'Donnell, he pushes up as well. Come on, boys, let's really force that pace out front and take your turns. So 5:46, 2K. We're still the other side of 14.20 pace. Now it's getting willing as we're seeing Cashin, a little bit of pushing shove. We're seeing Clifford just getting caught up a little bit there. I think that might have been Pearce as well. So Cashin in 2nd. Thorpe, good move into 3rd. O'Donnell on the rails just beside him. Noakes now going wide, taking the wide line after doing so much work in those early Ks. Dunsmore sitting at the back of the pack. Laven also there still. Kernahan moving through. Baisha nicely on the rails. Reed making a move past Callum Goldsmith. A little bit of a break coming out. I think top 5 just starting to edge forward. And this is where we're seeing some good moves. Gee, that was a ripper of a move from someone in white that I don't know yet. So Marks leads it. Cashin. Thorpe, Clifford, and that man in white was Harry Norman. Another good move. O'Donnell looking solid. Jared in clear space, or fairly clear now, and just sitting on the ankle or the heels of Tom Thorpe as Marks leads it through. 6 to go. Dunsmore now being asked the question. Jacob Bell in next slot. Samuel Rattray, then Quirk and Smithers. But out front, it is Marks. I think Archie Noakes might have paid the penalty of that early pace. He is starting to drift back as we see James Laven, the long-striding Yarra Rangers runner, just easing up alongside Reed and going past him. So they're still around that 14.22 pace. Cashin content to sit. So too is Thorpe. Great move by Norman. O'Donnell now passing Clifford. Laven right up there as well. Gee, exciting for these Yarra Rangers runners. A couple of the youngsters right up there, and Jared once again just clipping heels. Archie Reed now at the rear of the lead bunch because the gaps are forming. 10 metres back to Goldsmith. Then we've got Baisha. Unfortunately, Noakes is starting to drop back through the field. Race in 3 out front now. And Clifford not one of those. He's sitting in 6th position. So Marks, Cashin, Thorpe. Gap then to O'Donnell, then Norman. Then Clifford and Laven. Gap then to Reed. Approaching the 3 kilometre mark. Sorry, the 3.4 kilometre mark. I missed the 3 split. So Mark's leading. O'Donnell's the next one to try and bridge back up. Laven looking good and coming up towards his teammate there in Norman. Goldsmith now bridging the gap on Reed. Kernahan sitting that back behind Baisha. Gap then to Pearce, then Noakes, then Dunsmore. Quirk in next position ahead of Smithers. Bell. And then Rattray. So the pace sitting around that 14.15 to 14.20 mark at the moment. Our leaders not changing. Thorpe probably in the good position there. But also Cashin taking advantage of the leading there by Marks. Laven stepping up again ahead of Norman. Striding out towards O'Donnell. 3 laps out. Goldsmith. Also Kernahan to the outside of Baisha. Reed hanging on. Pearce in next position. Dunsmore, Noakes. But I'd say the medals probably looking fairly set at the moment. I'm not sure if Laven or O'Donnell can bridge that gap now because there's quality out front of them in the form of Ed Marks, Liam Cashin and Tom Thorpe. Thorpe's won this event before. He knows what to do. Cashin would love an individual gold medal in the Victorian Championship. Ed Marks the same. He won plenty as a junior. He's stepping up to senior ranks now. So we're into the last kilometre. 800 out. Cashin takes the lead. 2 to go. Thorpe just getting tangled there a little bit with Marks. Laven, O'Donnell, 2 out. James Laven just stick like glue. Harry Norman next. Jared Clifford back. Then it's Kernahan, Goldsmith, Baisha and Reed. Out front though. Now we're going to see who has got the presence of mind to come through in this latter stage of the Victorian Championship as we see Liam Cashin poking over the shoulder to see who's there, and it is Tom Thorpe, the previous winner. Marks has been brave, did so much of that pace setting when it was starting to drop, but he is starting to just get gapped a little bit. 500 to go. Another great championship race here tonight at Lakeside Stadium. Race in 2 for those top 2 medals. Can Laven bridge the gap? I'm not sure. It's probably too late for James. But now Thorpe goes. I think that's the move. Will Cashin respond? Don't write him off. But Thorpe looked good when he made that move. But he's not breaking any further. So Cashin has responded. Marks is now sitting in 3rd position with Laven starting to wind himself up. He's in 4th clearly ahead of O'Donnell and then Norman. Out front, it is a race in 2. Thorpe goes again. That was the big move. That could be the breaker, but Liam Cashin goes again. He's not done with yet. This is going to be a massive last 200 metres. Thorpe goes again. How much quicker can he go? We're down to the 200 metre sprint, and they are looking like they're going to do a 21 second, but Thorpe really clears out. Liam can't bridge it from there. I think Thorpe's got it. I think this is 2 in a row for Thorpe over the 5,000 metre championship. He moves out to lane 3. The head's going this way and that way, but Tommy Thorpe sat in nicely, strategised that race beautifully. He will take another 5,000 metre championship here tonight. He's happy. 13.58. Great running once again, Liam Cashin. Bridesmaid once again. Marks comes through. He'll get the bronze. Laven, what a massive run, James Laven. He'll take 4th in one of his first Open Championships, and look at the time. Seth O'Donnell, next one through. Let's see what he can do over the half marathon next Sunday at Melbourne into the MCG. Harry Norman, probably not quite on form, but still a good run. Kernahan, then Clifford. Goldsmith will be next. Baisha next through. Archie Reid, save your energy for the MCGs. You've got a lot to do on Sunday morning. 14.35 for Archie. Dunsmore will be in next position. Then Quirks come through quite nicely. Let's give Archie Noakes a big round of applause, though, because Archie set that up, went for time. Didn't work for him tonight, but 14.50, well, he'll have to settle with that. Smithers next, then Bell. Pearce will come through next, and Rattray will wind up a very, very entertaining men's Open 5,000 metre championship. Once again, we're treated to really, really good racing there. I had a feeling that Thorpe was just sitting in there, just waiting for things to happen. Great strategy once again, because Ed was pretty content to set the pace out front. Liam sitting in second. Liam, I think, would have loved to have that championship, but just didn't quite have it. Gee, the double, triple acceleration from Thorpe was so exciting to watch, so exciting to call as well. Hopefully my voice holds up for the weekend. But, yeah, great racing. Good top 3. James Laven, wow. You know, we saw a lot of him as a junior, and often, you know, those that excel, and because he's that taller, you know, fast developer, you think, oh, okay, by the time they're 18, 19, that they'll be out of the sport. But that was a good run by James. A lot of good stuff happening out at Yarra Ranges. You've also got Harry Norman moving nicely, and also the Laven girls as well. So some good stuff there. But Jared Clifford, probably not right on his game at the moment, but he's in the post-Paralympics sort of period, so probably just reassessing, rebuilding, and looking for what this season will lay as he heads towards World Championships for next year. So, entertaining race. Be good to go through the results when they come through. We had a sub 14-minute winning time, which was good, because bear in mind that the pace was on about the 14.20 mark for so long. So, nice kick finish home. But Thorpe takes it, Cashin, Marks, great names, and let's see what they can do for the rest of the season. So we will do presentations for that extremely exciting men's Open 5,000 metres shortly, but just like to say a big thanks to our Victorian officials, without whom we could not be running a meet like this tonight. Also a big thanks to the Athletics Victoria staff who set up the venue beautifully. And once again, thanks to our distance running fraternity for being here tonight at Lakeside. Watching some great action. 4 championships decided, 4 very good championships to watch as well, as we move forward towards the tail end of 2021 and head into 2022. Zatopek here, January 26. Lots more excitement to look forward to then. So we'll get our top 3 out. Don't leave just yet. Let's give them a bit of a round of applause. And congratulate our 3 young men on some very, very good running here in the Open 5,000 metres. Victory ceremony and medal presentation for the men's Open 5,000 metre Championship of Victoria. In third place with a time of 14:08.35, representing the Glen Huntly Athletic Club, Edward Marks. Our silver medalist in second position with a time of 14:01.01, representing Western Athletics, Liam Cashin. And our Victorian champion, gold medalist in a time of 13:58.49, representing St Stephen's Harriers, Thomas Thorpe. So congratulations, Ed, Liam and Tom. Great racing, entertaining night. Well done on your medals in the Victorian Open 5,000 metre Championship. So that's a wrap here from Lakeside Stadium. First championship for the summer season 2021-22. Hope you've enjoyed the live stream. Good action, a couple of great races, 4 good championships, but also some other nice supporting events here. So we now look forward to the Christmas break, and then we'll move forward to the Zatopek. Always exciting here in Melbourne on January 26th. And then we go through the championship season. So this is Tim Crosby from Athletics Victoria signing off on our live stream. And a big thank you to our production crew and also the AV staff and AV officials who've made tonight happen. Big last kilometre, John Charles. And he will take out the men's D. Beautifully positioned in lane 3 as requested. 16:49.0. But Bianca Puglisi, hats off to her. This girl has courage. But it's going to be our new champion, the new under-20 champion of Victoria, Sophie Coughlin. Time check. I reckon she's going to be close to the 17. Let's get her in there. It's going to be oh so close. Gone too early on the clock. I don't know what it was. I think it was right on 17. Rounds the bend first. Garbelotto coming at him again. They ease out to lane 3. Garbelotto not done with. Neither is Johnson. Janetsky, I think, is done, but I think Tom Bowers has got this. Great running from the young man from Old Scotch. Who cares about time, because this is a championship, and Tom Bowers is our new under-20. Garbelotto, great running for second. Johnson will take that podium performance here. As we see John just easing out into lane 3. So our leader, let's get behind him. John Portwood, just going to miss the 15-minute mark, but gee, what brave running in these conditions here tonight. So John Portwood will take the win in the B race, 15:05 unofficial. Callum Drake, he'll come low run here from green. Went out early, had Wilson for a little while, but then has just really been a class of her own out front. She eases out to lane 3. Let's get behind our event winner, new Victorian champion. We saw her running so well at Cruden Farm to announce that she's here. And now Rebecca Green takes out the Victorian Open Women's 5,000 metre Championship. Time went a bit early there, so it's about a 16:10. Looking down, we'll see Williams. How much quicker can he go? We're down to the 200-metre sprint, and they are looking like they're going to do a 21 second, but Thorpe really clears out. Liam can't bridge it from there. I think Thorpe's got it. I think this is 2 in a row for Thorpe over the 5,000-metre championship. He moves out to lane 3. The head's going this way and that way, but Tommy Thorpe sat in nicely, strategised that race beautifully. He will take another 5,000-metre championship here tonight. He's happy. 13:50. Great running once again, Liam Cash, and bridesmaid once again.